That's our news. Thank you for
Miss California pageant. Just a few hours at the Civic Theater downtown. The pageant's move to San Diego after 62 years in Santa Cruz was applauded on many fronts. Not only has it put the spotlight on San Diego, it's also expected to pump at least $2 million into the local economy. But not everyone is happy about the pageant. One group has been protesting for several days now, claiming beauty pageants demean women, but the contestants disagree. Joining us up front tonight are representatives of both sides in the debate. Nikki is with Citizens for Media Responsibility, a group which feels the pageants profit at the expense of women's dignity. And Tina Napier is this year's fairest of the fair. She was Miss Lemon Grove and was chosen to represent the county at this year's Southern California Expo, the Del Mar Fair. I thank you both for joining us up front tonight. I suppose we should ask Nikki Kraft, the protester there, what's wrong with people joining, signing up for beauty pageants?
Well, nothing's wrong with it, and people certainly have the right to do it, but where we have our differences is that it is a group of American corporations who have banded together with some civic-minded volunteers, and they're picking representatives to represent all the women in California. It's a pretty arrogant position to be in, and we're saying that we don't want our diversity limited as American corporations would limit us and their definition of corporate beauty, where women have to defile so much of their bodies in order to be considered attractive, the more attractive of the sexes, and we have to spend millions of dollars on cosmetics every year to change ourselves to fit into that narrow mold. And we want women to have more options. We're demanding to be heard concerning this, and we're demanding more options for women than this narrow mold of white womanhood.
All right, let me introduce the fairest of the fair, Tina Napier, and let's let her respond to that. Ms. Napier, how do you feel about beauty pageants?
Well, going on what she said, these ladies, it's their choice to go in a beauty pageant. Anybody can go into a beauty pageant. They're representing themselves as Californians and as San Diegans. Beauty pageants are no longer so big on the physical. They are very much interested in how they present themselves in front of people and how they can speak. I know this year, with the difference with Don Diego gone this year, I know that the choosing of the fairest of the fair had a lot to do with my speaking ability and being able to present myself in front of people, not constantly on my looks. It's called being a well-rounded individual.
All right, a well-made point there, Ms. Napier. What do you say to that?
Well, first of all, the scholarships are embarrassingly small, and we want the women...
We're not talking about the size of the scholarships. We're saying it is their choice, and they are presenting themselves as well-rounded people. Now, what's wrong with that?
It's perfectly all right if they want to present themselves as well-rounded ladies. That's fine. All we're doing is expressing another opinion, and it says, you know, you can't just feel that democracy and free expression represents whoever can afford to buy the airtime, which is what the corporations are doing.
Okay,
we're demanding to, you know, they took a poll and found that 26% of the population, 24% of the population polled in this area felt that the pageants were degrading. We're speaking for 1/4 of the people polled in that poll, and we have the right to speak out.
Right, you have the right, absolutely. However, when you say that it is degrading, and from that respect you are against it, this is not conscription. This is voluntary. This is something they are going into with their own choice, and that's the point that they're making.
Yeah. And I'm not saying she doesn't have the right to be in that pageant. What we're objecting to is that so much of this culture's value of women rests on a very superficial plane. We're saying women go beyond that superficial. Wonder about your existence and try to do something to help the world. We're in a real crisis.
Ms. Napier is trying to get a comment in there.
Yes.
Go ahead.
There a lot right now is depending on, there are things inside of pageants that people don't realize. Pageants have changed so much that they're almost at the point of taking out the swimsuit because it's more on personal interview and how they handle themselves with other people. Along with, it is voluntary, and you just have to understand that the women I know, by being in the Fairest of the Fair pageant, these girls' goals were being commercial pilots, were being future doctors. It's not for being a puffball airhead. There are minds, and what they're trying to do is show their creativity. Maybe it's on stage, but it's not through a swimsuit. It's through their creativity and through the personal interviews, and that's how they're picking their queen these days.
We'll be happy when the scholarship pageant is not determined by how a well-rounded individual looks in a bathing suit. That's what we're working for.
Well, Ms. Napier just pointed out that the swimsuits are almost on their way out, and they're representing themselves not determined by their figures in swimsuits, but by their brains as well.
Could Ms. Napier explain to me why the bathing suit pageants are on the way out?
Well, let me tell you. Yes, I'm sorry, but...
Go ahead.
It is a tradition to have the swimsuit, okay? Now, things are, as it progresses, it is a tradition, so I don't know how much longer the swimsuits will be in, but you have to understand, along with being a well-rounded individual, fitness is also how you take care of yourself.
Certainly.
Exactly, and the only way you can show that is being in a conservative swimsuit on stage. Now, who is embarrassing themselves more?
Ms. Napier?
Excuse me, ma'am, but I am speaking.
Okay.
Who is embarrassing themselves more? The young women that are in a conservative swimsuit on stage, or women that are prancing around in bikini bathing suits with meat hanging around their waist.
Would you prefer vaginal inspections to certify virginity for the pageant?
Ms. Kraft, I really don't think that is part of the debate here. I think she made a point as far as you asked why the swimsuits were there, and she explained that fitness was part of being a well-rounded person. You two have both made very good points for your side. Ms. Kraft, Ms. Napier, I thank you very much for joining us.
I think I'll paint my nails for tonight. Thank you.
Good luck. And Ms. Napier, thank you very much for being with us as well.
Well, thank you for asking me.
All right. It's almost hard to follow that. We will be back with more of the first edition right after this.
Chicanery. It was hoped the move might calm some of the controversy that has grown up around the event. News 8's Leonard Ozizwe has details.
Test.